Hello, this is Deborah Anderson, the Black Woman Animator, coming back to you with another video. In celebration of our centennial 100 years of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, I wanted to do a video about the impact of the organization on my life. This is not a video to convince anyone to join a fraternity or sorority. It's simply a celebration of my organization. A quick history: there are 9 prominent Black Greek letter organizations called the Divine Nine or the D9. Those organizations are Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. Black Greek letter organizations were created to unite Black students with common ideas and principles, and as a response to white Greek letter organizations that denied Black students entry. Amid racial oppression and segregation in the early 1900s, Black students on college campuses bonded together to create strong brotherhoods and sisterhoods that focused on activism, scholarship, social uplift, and service. There are some differences between D9 organizations and predominantly white organizations. Usually when people think of Greek letter organizations, even if they've been to college, they think of TV's version of Greeks, and those TV shows and movies usually highlight white Greek letter organizations. For white Greek letter organizations, they typically consider themselves a part of the organization or active in the organization for the 4 years of college or however long they're a member. But for D9 organizations, we have a lifelong commitment. So you're not always financial and paying your dues, but you are a member for life. Something that I noticed on my college campus, I'm not sure if it's the same for other college campuses, but the white Greek letter organizations are big on philanthropy, so raising money during their 4 years, and the Black Greek letter organizations are big on service, so we did a lot of community service. Not that each organization didn't raise money for Black Greeks or do service for white Greeks, but I noticed that there was more of a concentration on either or for each demographic. Another couple differences is that white Greek letter organizations don't have that closeness to other chapters like Black Greek organizations. When I was in college, we would visit Binghamton, Syracuse, Buffalo chapters, and some of my friends who were in white Greek letter organizations, they didn't really communicate with other chapters all the time. Another thing is that with the colors that we choose, my organization is royal blue and white, and so that's the only colors that we put our letters and our paraphernalia in. But with white Greek letter organizations, they would have their letters in maybe army fatigue or just different colors than their main colors. Sometimes they had chapter colors and then national colors. So that's another difference. Like in D9 organizations, whatever 2 colors are the colors from local to national, and we don't really change our colors. Now on to how the organization had an impact on me. First, it gave me immediate leadership experience. I was initiated in spring 2006 in April, and by May 2006, I was already elected as president for the next school year. Anybody who's watched this channel knows that I just finished a term as the president of the Urban League Young Professional Chapter in New Orleans, and the circumstances around being president back then and now were totally different. For Zeta, that was the first time other people saw something in me and came together to try to convince me to be president. And then for my most recent presidency, it was mostly me deciding and seeing something in myself. If you had came to me before May 2006, I would have never thought I would be president of anything. And so the encouragement that I got from my sorority sisters to go ahead and run for president was great. And that leadership experience provided me with a lot of tools that I use today. Zeta helped me see the importance of community service and gave me a passion for volunteer work. Back when I was in high school, it was a requirement to do community service to graduate, and I didn't really want to do it. So being part of the robotics team, they allowed me to use that time as community service work, even though it wasn't really community service. But through working with Zeta, I was always doing community service projects and creating programs, and so it helped me see the importance of helping others, and I still do that today. And there was a time in maybe 2016, 2015, where outside of my job, I was volunteering for 4 separate organizations at the same time. And so I've tried to slow that down, but I can see the importance of giving away of my time and helping other people. Zeta taught me about having a great team, putting in the work and the execution. My chapter, Chi Lambda, definitely spoiled me as far as expectations of team members and work ethic. At my school, we weren't even known for throwing parties. We were known for throwing programs, and we would win awards for the programs that we had during school. My chapter definitely spoiled me as far as people signing up to do something and actually putting in the work and giving it their all and not giving it 50%. We all gave 100%. Zeta also provided me with an automatic network that includes other Zetas, Sigmas, and other D9 organizations. Earlier I mentioned Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and they're considered our brother organization. So as soon as I was initiated in spring 2006, I put it to the test. I went on a trip to Virginia. I hit up some random Sigmas and they showed me around the cities. I immediately tested out the network and it's been working for me from spring 2006 until now. I went home for Christmas and I was flying back to New Orleans from Michigan, and I saw a random sorority sister on one of my connecting flights. She had her letters on, I think, a backpack or a pillow, and I just randomly went up to her and said, "Hey soror," and we chatted up and had an automatic connection and had a conversation until we got onto the plane. So that's a great thing, a great asset that I have. I can go anywhere in the world and have a connection. Speaking of going anywhere in the world, a funny story, when I was preparing to go to Korea in 2009, before I left, Phi Beta Sigma had their national conference in New Orleans, and so I headed downtown to meet up with some of my fraternity brothers. I ended up being at a table where the entire table was made up of military people who were Sigmas, who were either currently stationed in Korea or just getting back from Korea. And so when I told them that I was about to move to Korea, I don't think any of them believed me. But then when I got to Korea, I hit some of them up and they were like, "Oh wow, you were telling the truth." And one of them is one of my good friends till this day. So it's crazy that I just so happened to come across this table. They are all related to Korea. I was about to move to Korea. So when I moved to Korea, I didn't even though I moved by myself, I was not alone. I was able to connect with my sorority sisters and my fraternity brothers, because all of our organizations are international organizations, and usually that means that there are military chapters all over the world. Sometimes people from those countries join, but mostly it's going to be a military chapter. So that made Korea more of a home for me and made it more comfortable, even though I was moving there by myself. Something that I realized is that being a part of Zeta made me more comfortable with reaching out to random people, which is how I got my job in Korea and how I got my job as a professor at Loyola University, New Orleans. So all in all, joining Zeta was a great decision, and it helped me grow as a person and as a leader. So tell me in the comments, what is something that you've done that has helped you grow as a person? And like so I know it's real, comment and tell me how you feel, subscribe to Seal the Deal, and sign up for post notifications to show your zeal. And I will see you in the next video. Sleep fight!